it's not that he's become stagnant, but I think that it's becoming like it's such a weird situation because when he was super hot, we were like, oh my God, he has to have a title. And most people were like, okay, well, he has to go for the world title. But like, that doesn't make sense because it's Roman, but like, he has to, right? And it's like, a lot of people felt it took too long to eventually give him that match. And then it happens and he loses the way that he does. And then they kind of take him out of it, but they keep him in it. And now they're fully thrusted into it again. But you know that he's not going to win at the Royal Rumble. And it's like, out of the other three in the match, like, you know that he's not at the top with them. Like, he's not that far behind, but I mean, we're talking Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and AJ Styles. Like, LA Knight is not in that category yet.
Yeah.
Because he's not been there yet. But this is the thing, is like, you know that he's not going to win. You know that he's probably going to be the one that gets pinned. And then because he didn't have a Mania match last year, it's like, okay, so what exactly are they gonna do with him? And people have had him connected to Logan Paul, and so then it just feels like he's on this high, like he's going all the way up. He was already like what you thought was at the peak because he faced Roman one-on-one, but that wasn't it. Then he keeps going up. Then we get to the Royal Rumble, and then it's like, okay, then you're gonna have him go for the US title. It's like all the way back down because it's but I'm saying that's how a lot of people feel because you can't argue with me, and I know if you are a sane human being, you know that when you're talking about the undisputed Universal Championship, that's up here. The US title is not anywhere near it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what people are saying feels like a problem because you're having him go for this big title because it's not like Kevin Owens. You know, a year ago he was going after Roman, and now he's going to be having a match a year later at the same show against Logan Paul for the US title. But he has become so accomplished in his career because he's been a champion before that no one is sitting there being like, oh, this is like a down season for him. Like, whatever, he's going for the US title. LA Knight hasn't accrued that that you know, street cred yet. Like, he doesn't have it yet because he hasn't been the champion yet. And so then you're putting him in there, and it's like it's not premature, but it almost is because you're going against Roman Reigns. So you have no chance at beating him. And then you're going to put him against a title that no one gives a crap about. Because even with Logan Paul, no one cares. And so it kind of feels like the opportunity that they had for him to become US champion was like months ago. Like, that was when everyone wanted it to happen. And now it's like people would be excited if he became a champion because it's like finally he is being like acknowledged as a talent that deserves to be a champion. But it's coming on the heels of being in multiple matches against the undisputed Universal Champion. So it's just like, it doesn't feel right.
But that, like, just because he loses the undisputed championship match to Roman and goes down to be the US champion, let's say, to me that actually brings up and elevates the US championship because it's on a guy Roman didn't really beat. Roman had the foot in the rope, or Jimmy put the foot in the rope and he got screwed. He didn't actually they didn't take him out. They just screwed him. They didn't take him out. Now you're going to put the US title on him, have him have a massive reign with that to get back over. And then you're putting legitimacy on the US title to elevate it back to, I would say, a popularity on SmackDown that the Intercontinental Championship has popularity on Raw. And then you're getting LA Knight with good feuds with, you know, maybe guys like Carmelo Hayes, Carlito, Santos Escobar, guys that need that elevated step. I don't see it being a bad thing for him to go down.
I have two counter arguments. One, the elevating of the US title is something that you said that Logan Paul was going to do. Why are we then passing the buck to LA Knight? Why does LA Knight have to be the one to elevate it if everyone said that it was going to be Logan Paul?
Seems he elevated outside of WWE, bring it.
That doesn't make any sense because
from a business standpoint, it does.
But it's not a relevant title. No one gives a shit about the US title. Still, no one does. Like, it doesn't matter because he's also never around. So, secondly, what was my other one? Oh, there's a reason why it kind of feels like a consolation prize. You know, it's like, okay, like Roman Reigns is the champion, and obviously you're not going to be the one to win, and you're definitely not going to look better than Randy or AJ Styles, and we're not going to have you in a feud even on Elimination Chamber for the title. You're definitely not facing Roman at Mania. So let's just kind of like, okay, let's get you this other title. Like that's kind of like what it feels like. And I think it's just because people are so invested in LA Knight, and people also know that like even if he's not anywhere near retiring, he's not a spring chicken. So it's worrisome that we're at this point where he's so over finally, and they're like recognizing him for everything that he can bring to WWE, and then you're having him go after some of the top talent in the company, and then it's like, oh well, no, it's not right now, and then you're gonna just be like, okay, let's go for this title that no one cares about, but maybe you can make people care about it. Like
But
it
isn't
doesn't.
that
I
what the
mean,
secondary
you have
title
a
is?
but for everything. But I'm just
Because
saying
I
that.
think I just
But
that's what
but I'm telling you,
that's all
I'm
I
not the
do.
only person that feels this way. I'm telling you that a lot of LA Knight fans feel this way. I spoke to the leader of the
The
Yeah
leader of the
Revolution who
movement.
feels that
Yeah.
way, and I'm assuming a lot of people are feeling that way and saying it to him too. So it is like a universal feeling right now among a lot of people who root for him, because it's like they're excited that he's in this position, but they feel like you can kind of tell where it's going, and that is not exciting. It's getting people to not want to watch or like not check in because they feel like he deserves better than being in that spot. So
Here we
maybe,
go.
I'm saying maybe,
Here we go,
but
Denisha.
I'm
Fist
just
bump.
telling you, I just,
Fist bump.
but this is the thing is like my thing is they have mishandled LA Knight.
They
So
have.
so that's what I'm
It's
saying.
a
So
fact.
then to sit there and believe that they're not going to mishandle him from this situation is you're living in denial.
I'm
I'm
not
not.
living in
But
denial.
you're being overly optimistic when they've proven that you shouldn't be, is what I'm saying. I'm saying you can be optimistic because that's the mindset you have. I try to be
Yeah.
realistic and I tend to be negative. I pessimistic. I understand that. But I also feel like I'm proven right when it comes to wrestling a lot more often because I can just predict these things, and I feel like when we're talking about these four guys in this match, he's going to get the short end of the stick because he's not on their level yet. So that's why I'm saying like Randy is not concerned. If Randy doesn't become champion, who the fuck cares? He's gonna have
Yeah,
a
Randy's just
mania
pissed.
match.
Yeah.
Same thing with AJ Styles and obviously Roman Reigns. But LA Knight hasn't even had a WrestleMania match, even though he was super over last year. They didn't give a shit. They had him sit there and be shown in the audience. How can I sit here and say that he's going to have this big main event match at the Royal Rumble that they're not going to make him look like the weakest one in the match for the most part, especially by pinning him? And then I'm supposed to believe that they might do right by him by either keeping him involved in this or giving him the like lesser of the titles on the show is treating him right. Like, how do I even know that he's going to get a match at Mania? They didn't give him one last year, despite the fact that he was super over. So that's what I'm saying. It's like his outlook is more checkered to me. I don't think that it's black and white. It's not like the others where you don't have to worry about them. When it comes to LA Knight, I think you do.